Lundell is getting
And we're
going to
bring in Congresswoman Michelle Fischbach. Hi, Congresswoman. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm excited to be here. This is great.
We've known each other a long time. You've done a great job. You were a lieutenant governor at one time, too. And mutual friend Bill Ingebretson, a shout out to him. He talks so highly. Thought you would be great as a congresswoman. And I know you have a primary challenge, but Donald Trump supports you. We see the ads, encouraging people to back you.
Yep. Oh, we're very excited. I'm honored to have Donald Trump's endorsement for the congressional seat, and I am looking forward to working with President Donald Trump when he gets back to the White House, because we are going to do great things for the American people.
I know you're out on the road. What are you hearing? I see Fischbach, I see Trump signs in unison up and down I-94, the interstate. I don't see any Biden or now Harris at all. It's you and, of course, Donald Trump.
You know, people understand what the Biden-Harris administration did to this country. We're talking inflation, people having a hard time buying groceries. They don't back the blue. You know, we had Shannon Owen talking today about losing her husband in the line of duty. People know, people understand what the Biden-Harris administration did to this country, and they are looking forward to having Donald J. Trump back in the White House.
Of course, you, again, a lot of credit goes to you. You were able to wrestle a long time, 28-year Democrat in Colin Peterson, put him so-called out to pasture. He's been a farmer. But you were able to get that seat away from him. CD7, of course, always has been a conservative district, but Colin the fence, said he was a blue dog Democrat and was able to win for 28 years. You were able, though, and again, you had a lot of backing. You were able to raise the funds to able to get that seat back.
We put together the coalition we needed to. We got people believing in the fact that we could win that seat back. And like you said, we raised the money, we found the volunteers, and we brought it together. But I think one of the big things is we were able to let people know that Colin heads straight. You know, he always called himself a conservative Democrat. But you know what? He was supporting the Nancy Pelosi agenda. And that's what the people are sick of. And I know that the Nancy Pelosi agenda looks a lot like the Biden-Harris agenda, because it has a lot to do with Green New Deal. It has a lot to higher taxes. It has a lot to do with inflation. And so I am excited to continue that. Not only did we flip that seat, but we are going to make sure we take back the White House.
We have a mutual friend in Jim Nelson and Shelley Nelson. I was with Jim yesterday, and he took a picture, had me take a picture. You honored his brother, who'd passed away, also a Marine, 2 Marines. You care deeply, but you flew a flag in honor of his brother, Bill. You care deeply about our veterans, don't you?
Oh, I care deeply about our veterans. I care deeply about our law enforcement. Both of those groups of people have done so much for our country, particularly veterans. And we are together today because of what they've done for us. I mean, there are a lot of countries where you can't gather like this and support a president and say the things you want to say, or you give your opinion. And so we owe it so much to them. And I will just say to Jim Nelson, he has been such a wonderful stalwart, working so hard to promote Republican and conservative ideals.
He's a worker, isn't he? Once a Marine, always a Marine, right?
Absolutely. That guy and he never leaves anyone behind.
Yeah, for sure. Also, you are so solid, and your husband, pro-life. You both have worked so hard. If anyone has any doubt, you guys are both solid on that issue. I know a lot of campaign material talks about how, are you almost 100% voting conservative, voting in line, NRA and everything else?
I have a very strong conservative voting record. I have the endorsement of the NRA. I have the endorsement from National Right to Life. I have the endorsement from Susan B. Anthony, pro-life. All kinds of, and I have one of the most conservative voting records, and I didn't realize this until last weekend. My voting record is more conservative than Jim Jordan's.
Wow, how about that? We love Jim Jordan. Well, you got to love Michelle Fischbach, too.
Yes, and and I think that, but our district is conservative, and that's what I'm doing, is going and representing our district and making sure that our voices are heard.
When you're out there, what do you think is the number one issue? We know certainly we hear a lot of border talk, but we also hear a lot about the crowd's going nuts. This is fun watching it. They're doing the wave out here. It's like being at a Vikings game or a Twins game over the years, but that's kind of a Minnesota.
Conservative Vikings game.
Right, absolutely. But what are you hearing? What do you think is the number one issue, Michelle, when you're out there? Is it the border? Is it inflation? Is it a civil society with our law enforcement? What would you say?
I'll say what I hear a lot about is, and I think they're about equal. I think inflation and border. Because people, it's hard to get away from inflation because you go and the groceries cost more every single day, and they cost more, and your gas costs more. But they also understand that the border is, with the illegals flooding across the border, it's ruining the country. And so I think people see that, and so much of the other stuff falls in line. We need strong law enforcement to make sure that those illegals are caught. And so there's a lot going on with that. But that's what I hear about mostly, is I hear about inflation and I hear about the border.
Well, I want to let you go so you can maybe do the wave, Michelle.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Always great to see you. And I am just so excited. This is, it's great to have Donald J. Trump and J.D. Vance in St. Cloud. And we are going to go forward, and we are going to win Minnesota for Trump this fall.
You're feeling pretty confident?
Feeling really good about it.
I love it. Wouldn't that be nice? Turn it red?
Absolutely. Like Tom Emmer said, we are going to make history.
We are.